by far the best point guard I've ever played with.
I didn't even know you said that. Just trying to think where my toes at. Might start kicking people though. Actually, the one thing I just started getting was aloe stuff.
Aloe's nice. Expensive.
I'm a big Joe Burrow fan, and he got the sponsorship by him, so I started wearing it. I love it. I mean, twist your arm. Could you just check if you have these in 10?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to cut this one. That's a great question.
Growing up as a basketball sensation, what kind of pressures did you have to live up to expectations, and how did you navigate through that?
I wouldn't say I had too much pressure, just because my family, even though I grew up in a basketball family, they didn't really put too much emphasis on the basketball side of things. It was more so just be a good person, do the right thing. You know, I was gifted enough to be somewhat talented at basketball, and I took full advantage of it. And you know, I think I'm in a pretty good position now.
Do you remember what the first pair of shoes you ended up playing basketball in was?
There's definitely something way before, but my earliest recollection was definitely like a lower Kobe, kind of a little bit like these ones, is a different colorway. I like when they pop, so I like any kind of shoe that doesn't match my jersey, like so something like that. Yeah, because when I used to play football, actually, my mom used to like the shoes that didn't match the jersey because I was so small. She was able to see me. So ever since then, I stuck with the bright shoes.
I love that. And did Kobe Bryant, that Mamba mentality, as a, you say, smaller guy, maybe not as athletic as some of the other players, did the Mamba mentality carry over to your game too?
Definitely. Everybody knows Kobe. You know, growing up, I definitely watched a lot of Kobe. I loved Allen Iverson, but honestly, the most pivotal OG player I watched was Pistol Pete Maravich.
Pistol Pete?
Yes.
Old classic videos or what?
My dad. He fed me Pistol Pete mixtapes for breakfast, and so that's kind of what I grew up on.
Transferring from Youngstown State to John Carroll, how did being able to contribute to your family legacy impact your decision to make that transfer?
It definitely played a huge role. Obviously, my family's everything. And the funny story about it is when I was in the portal, I actually didn't think I was going to John Carroll. And when I took my visit there, it just so happened that my whole entire family ended up on campus, ironically, that day. And so seeing them there, and then my uncle and my grandfather showing me the pictures of, you know, my mom playing at John Carroll, my uncles playing at John Carroll. Obviously, my grandpa coached there, and then alongside my uncles, who are obviously the coach there now, you know, played a huge role. And I just wanted to go to a school that I knew really wanted me. And so, you know, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
What was that dynamic like with 8 of you transferring to John Carroll all at once? And how did you guys mesh together?
I mean, when you hear 8 transfers, you would think it was, you know, crazy. But the moral of the story is most of us played together growing up. Probably about 5 or 6 of us, we played AAU, 4th, 5th, 6th grade together. So we were familiar with each other's backgrounds, where we played high school. And like I said, we played together before. So it was kind of just like a reunion in a sense, you know, getting back together after 6 years not playing with each other. But, you know, once we kind of got back to campus, got in the full swing of things, everything kind of took care of itself. I think that's honestly what made us that good, is because we each had our own different experiences. We each played at, you know, our own different levels. Luke Frazier played at a top tier D1. I played at a lower major D1. Chase Toppin, Henry Rayner played at D2s. And so when you're going against that type of talent for a year or two, it's going to sharpen everybody's ability. And so, like I said, once we got back together and we meshed, I think that's when everything took off.
What was that moment like when you guys won the OAC championship?
It was amazing, just because, you know, the 8 of us that transferred in, you know, we came from different situations, and most of us didn't like the previous situations we were in. And then even the returners that came back, they were coming off a season that, you know, they expected to do a little bit better. And so to finally get us all back together, and after that long 6-month season to get or win what you wanted to win, it definitely meant a lot. It was a surreal feeling.
With basketball being a sport where the culture kind of translated to off the court as well, and a lot of icons of the game, like Jordan, have influenced off the court styles, how was your fits that you put together inspired by basketball?
Definitely used to be, you know, a significant part of how I dressed. I mean, I would wear basketball shoes to middle school, wear them to high school. As I got older, I just kind of go for comfort now. I'm a big Nike Vomero guy, love slides. So anything that feels right, I'll wear.
Transferring from the Division I to Division III level, how did your play style and mentality adjust?
I would say I had to be more assertive. At the Division I level, I think I was more just a passer. Then I got to the Division III level, and I was kind of able to, show my true talent, my ability to score and defend 1 through 4. So when I got there, I think I just had a bigger role, and with more opportunity, I had more success.
Your teammate Chase Toppin had this quote about you, about what it's like to play with you and who you are as a teammate. He said, "To play with him and to be on the same page with him at all times, basketball seems so easy and free. Something good is going to happen when he has the ball in his hands. By far, the best point guard I've ever played with." Hearing your teammates say the game is so easy and free when you're playing with them, how do you approach the game as a point guard so that your teammates feel that way?
For me personally, I think it's instinct because I've been playing the game for so long, and I've always played against older guys. So for me, at first when I started, I wasn't able to score the ball because I was just so much smaller than everybody. So I had to find ways to contribute, and passing became one of things I think I'm pretty good at. And so I think, like I said, it just kind of came naturally over time. And I've played with somebody like Chase, who's a very special player, very special individual for a long time now. So I may have made him better, but he made me a lot better.
Yeah, and then hearing your teammates say that you're the best point guard he's ever played with, having that level of trust from your teammates, how does that change your style on the game, and how does that allow you to play to your strengths?
I mean, it's pivotal. I mean, when somebody puts trust into you, that puts trust into yourself. So like I said, just playing with him growing up, and then to hear those words, it just gives you more confidence to build on what you already have.
Growing up in an era where Nike Elite socks kind of dominated the scene, did you ever wear them, and what were your outfits like with those?
Yeah, of course I wore them growing up. Those were the biggest. Those were honestly more important than basketball shoes at one point, I feel like. I had a couple pairs. My mom did not want to get too many because they were a little bit pricier, but the ones I did get, I made sure to wear them and pull them up extra high.
Oh, you pulled them up, you didn't have the wrinkle or anything?
Oh no, you had to make sure, yeah. You had to get all the elites in there on the back, you had to show them.
You've had a lot of awards and honors throughout your career, including being named at All-State as a high schooler and finalist for Mr. Ohio. You won All-American at the Division III level, and then you were the Greater Cleveland Collegiate Athlete of the Year. What does winning those awards and honors signify beyond just the trophies?
The biggest thing is it's a true reflection of everybody that I've been around, from high school, having the coaching staff I've had, to the parents that raised me and my dad who trained me growing up, and then getting to the collegiate level. I was fortunate enough to play with some of, if not the best players in the country, coached by one of, in my opinion, the best coach in the country. So I think it's just a huge reflection on the people I was surrounded by.
Earlier you said you like shoes that pop.
I do.
And you actually wear neon green shoes for John Carroll, correct?
I do, correct.
So why do you like shoes that pop on the court, and do you think that helps you stand out?
100%. So growing up, I played football, and like I said, I was always really small, and my mom was never able to find where on the field I was, and so I got these bright cleats, and that's how she was able to find me. Ever since then, I think it's just kind of been my thing, and so, like I said, as long as they're low top and as long as they pop, I'll wear them.
At high school, you seemed restricted by team shoes. Did that impact the way you felt in terms of swagger on the court?
Maybe a little bit. I still found a way to get some bright shoes on, though. We did have team shoes, so those ones did match the jersey, but a couple games in, maybe the shoes got a little beat up, so I transitioned to something a little bit brighter like this.
You used to wear a shooting sleeve too, right?
I did, yes.
And why'd you make the transition out of that?
I really don't know. To be honest, I think that's something I might go back to. I switched over to a leg sleeve for a little bit. Like I said, I'm just kind of a comfort guy, so if it feels right, I'll wear it. So the arm sleeve might be something that comes back.
So I actually, for my birthday, my grandma and I would always go shopping. And the one day I came home with a shooting sleeve, wore it to practice the next day. My dad came onto the court, ripped it off my sleeve. He said I wasn't good enough. Do you think some players maybe need to focus a little less on the drip though, and focus more on their game instead?
No, I think you can wear what you want to wear. I do think if you have an arm sleeve on or if you have a leg sleeve on, there are certain expectations that might be set, but I'm not one to judge. So if you like it, wear it.
Last year going into the year, you're a preseason All-American, coming off an All-American year your junior year. What was that moment like when you found out you're going to be out for the season with an injury?
It was humbling. I think it put a lot of things into perspective, though, because all I knew for 21 years at the time was that orange ball that you put in the hoop. And so not having the ability to play it anymore, like I said, it put things into perspective. So I had to, find ways to satisfy me outside of the sport. That's kind of where I started the training thing. I found other interests, what I want to do what I want to do in the future. So I think it was honestly a blessing in disguise.
What do you think's been the biggest hurdle overcoming the challenges and setbacks you faced from the injury?
Too many to count. I mean, my freshman year, I broke my hand. Last summer, I broke my foot. You know, you get back fully healthy, ready for your senior year, what you would hope to, you know, finish out your career the highest way possible. And then you go down with another injury. It definitely sucks. But having that, like I said, I think it was a blessing in disguise.
Coming off that season-ending injury and going into your last year at John Carroll, what's your mentality like?
It's 100%. It's balls to the wall. Just trying to get back to where I was, if not better. And all the goals I used to write down about, you know, playing in college, I want to obtain those goals. But the main thing is team success. I just want to win.
So you played in Kobe's, but now everyone seems to be wearing low-top shoes. How do you feel about the low-top wave, and have you always been on it?
I'm all for the low tops. I can't do the high tops. I feel like they restrict me. So I like the low tops. They got to be a bright colorway, kind of like this one. Anything that pops, they feel lighter on your feet. They just feel correct.
Why do you think high tops restrict you?
When we used to get taped at Youngstown, ankles, it was like mandatory. I just felt like I moved slower. Maybe it was a mental thing, and ever since then, I just can't go to the high tops. Unless it's a casual shoe, I might dabble with some high tops, but...
Off the court?
Off the court, yeah, we can go high tops, but on the court, it has to be low tops.
As a captain and leader on your team, what kind of leadership qualities and styles are you trying to bring?
I think the main thing is just leading by example. You know, it's a long season when you're 6 months straight and you're 6 days in the gym. You get that one off day, but sometimes you might be watching film. So lead by example in ways, you know, being the first one in the gym, the last one to leave. Even if we don't got practice on the off day, getting in the gym and getting extra shots. So I'd say the main thing is, you know, like I said, lead by example, but then use my experiences. You know, I've been around the block. I've played at Division I, played at John Carroll now for 4 years. So I kind of understand what it takes to win and just kind of portray that to the other guys.
Yeah. What do you think the biggest thing you've learned in your time at John Carroll and at the collegiate level is that you would think younger players could benefit from?
It's a biased answer here, but I'd say, you know, it doesn't matter what division you go, you know, D1, D2, D3. The whole point of college is obviously to invest in yourself to get, you know, the most in return. So go to a school that's going to set you up for future success.
What's been your favorite part about being at John Carroll?
The people. Obviously, like I said, I'm a little bit biased because my family tradition there, but, you know, the people from the basketball team to the other sporting teams, you know, the professors, everybody at John Carroll is genuinely a good person and they want the best for you. And I truly believe you are who you surround yourself with. And so when you go to John Carroll, you're surrounding yourself around a bunch of successful and good people. And ultimately, I think that's the best part of it.
You grew up in Cleveland. You went to high school at Mentor, all-star there. Went to Youngstown State, then John Carroll. You've been in the Cleveland area throughout it all. Now you're training kids. What's the biggest message you guys have been trying to send to the kids that you guys are training?
I'd say pave your own path. I mean, obviously you want to have a work ethic, and, you know, chase your dreams, but definitely the quote would be pave your own path. Especially nowadays, you don't want to get caught up in, you know, going Division I, Division II, Division III. It doesn't matter. Basketball is basketball. If you enjoy playing it, go to a school or go to a spot that wants you most.
Yeah, and then what impact has work ethic had on your career?
It's been the most important thing for me personally. I mean, as you can see, I'm not the biggest guy. I'm certainly not the most athletic guy. So everything I've earned, or the accolades, whatever it may be, it truly came from being in the gym, long hours, late nights, things along those lines.
And not being the biggest guy and maybe not having the most athleticism, how has that affected your mentality on the court and the way you approach the game?
I think I've always had a underdog mentality. Kind of what I said earlier, like growing up, I always played up. So, I mean, I was small for my age, and then, you know, you're playing up 2 years. I mean, I was a little munchkin out there playing basketball, so I had to find other ways to get the job done, and so I think that the work ethic is really what helped me. All
right, we just interviewed Chico, had him answer some questions. Now it's time to hook him up with a pair of shoes.
Let's do it. I do like I was about to say, I do like the...
These are clean.
What size are those ones?
11.
I'm definitely going to keep those ones in mind. I want to look at these Yeezys too.
I think these have some pop to them.
You think so? I should wear these, huh?
Yeah, we wear them on the court.
Might as well. My mom would like them.
What do you think the team would think about that?
I probably want to be allowed back in the locker room. They do feel all right. Just trying to think where my toes at. Might start kicking people though. You got these in a 10.5?
Yeah, for sure. I'll go grab this for you.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna need these ones too.
All right, I got you. All right, your total today after tax will be $377.98.
Sweet.
Appreciate it. I'll grab you guys back.
All right, appreciate you coming out, Chicone.
Thank you.
Great learning more about
Appreciate it.
you.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys having me.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good luck this season.
Thank you.